Good morning, La La Land. It's Dr. Erin here.
Rob Mack.
And Jessamine Moyer. Good morning. We are so excited that you are with us today, Thursday, December 14th.
Nice. Today is all about Thought Thursday or Thursday Thoughts, whichever hashtag you want to use today. So if you are wanting to stay in balance during the holidays, if you're wanting to not go towards addictive behaviors, you want to watch the show. We have a great show all about recovery, using that energy for good, and knowing that all of us deal with poor habits during the holidays, right?
So no, I've never had any poor habits in my whole life. I've been perfect. I was born perfect. No, not at all. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's so important to stay mindful this season. I'm so excited to welcome our special guest to the show, Lauren Burnett, creator of Luella Rockefeller. Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. We're so excited to have you as part of Good Morning La La Land. Tell us, how do you start your day in Los Angeles?
In Los Angeles, it's a lot more easier to start my day than it is at home because I have two small children at home. So in the morning here, I typically like to wake up, do a 10-minute meditation, and then as I'm getting ready to go to work, I put Super Soul Sunday on in the background to keep me amped and motivated for my day.
It's so funny and inspiring because I typically just go to this music, right? But it's so neat that you're going to Oprah to start your day, really like getting out of your mind, and it's all about the feels.
Yeah, it certainly is. I love it because I listen to music all day in the shop. So yeah, typically I like to listen to more motivational speeches that helps me set my day up right.
And your shop is rocking. If you follow my Instagram, you've seen me there several times in the past week, wearing the jeans again today because I'm pretty much living in these new cheap Mondays. Thank you, Lauren. Why Luella Rockefeller in Los Angeles right now?
So we had quite a large customer base within the United States, and the majority of that was in the state of California. So myself and my investment team decided that we were going to try and branch out into Los Angeles and put feels out and see what happens. Yeah.
And this store, it has such a cool, like, London meets Cali vibe, you guys. I mean, you just go in there and you're like, man, she is a hashtag girl gangster. Lauren Burnett, how would you describe the style?
I'd say it's very much inspired by London street style, but also by subcultures. So I love the grunge, the punks, the mods, the rockers, rave scene. All scenes and subcultures has definitely been a massive influence when designing and picking other brands.
London street style here on Melrose. We're so excited to get to know you and hear more of your story later in this show. So last night we went to a fabulous event. It was at Max Mara. I went with Erin. And yeah, tell us about it.
I mean, it was their clothing is incredible. I couldn't afford one thing in there, but it was so beautiful. They had this one whole section of like golds and taupes, and I was like, okay, one day when I have a lot of money, I'm gonna just like scrape everything in my closet, and I want like all of the clothes. It was so gorgeous, don't you think?
Oh, it was absolutely breathtaking. One of my favorite things about it, though, it was an event for charity. We talked about it before on the show. They were partnering with the Westside Children's Center, and 20% of the proceeds last night went to this charity. It's incredible because the people of Los Angeles are really coming together with InStyle, with Max Mara, to support the local children, the children at the Westside Children's Hospital. It was a really neat event. It was great just to kind of get together and celebrate the holidays, and I love that this season really brings out that giving, charitable part of everyone right now.
Right, and the event was on Rodeo Drive, and it was so funny because, you know, we're trying to get all dressed up, and I had this like kind of really pretty sequin kind of dress on, and then I wore the tall boots, and because it's really the end, I'm like, okay, I gotta like, I don't know if you're, you know, in LA, it's almost like there's an email that everyone gets going, this is what everyone's gonna wear for this season. So I had to go, you know, buy these boots, you know, a while back, and I thought, well, I'm gonna wear them because then I'll be this hip, you know, trying to keep up with the young girls in this town. And it was so funny. Yeah. But it was so funny because we're on Rodeo Drive, and I kind of felt like they're a little bit whorish, if you will, these boots, you know what I mean? And I was thinking, just because it was reminding me of Pretty Woman. We're right on Rodeo Drive, right where Pretty Woman shot at the Beverly Hills
flashback.
Church. And I'm like walking up to this part, and I'm like, I kind of feel like Julia Roberts right now in these tall boots.
There are worse things.
Right,
There are worse
remember
things in the
those
world
tall
to feel.
boots in that
Yes, of
scene
course,
when she's
yeah.
a hooker on the street, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I have one of those
Julia-
moments.
Yeah, I love Julia Roberts. You looked just like Pretty Woman, but the classy style. I didn't know what to wear, so just to shout out Luella Rockefeller again. I was there yesterday, of course, and I got to wear one of the fabulous new dresses that are there, and it was so cool just to kind of like show up and be London street style on Rodeo. It was really fun.
I think that's one of the best things about LA. So many of my friends that live other places, they're like, man, I have like all this beautiful stuff or these beautiful clothes that I either want to buy or I have purchased, and I have nowhere to wear it to. But in LA, there's so many opportunities to wear.
But
get
no,
dressed up
we
and
were
go-
talking about that at the party because Jeslyn had this gorgeous like coat on that was a winter coat, and she's like, "This is the only reason why we should live in New York. Wear these coats."
No, it is one of my favorite things about LA though, is because you can pretty much get away with anything. You can go to like some of the nicest restaurants in town, and guys will have on a baseball cap.
that's true.
True.
Nobody cares.
True.
You just do you.
It's
you
true.
you get away with it in La La Land.
I love that. I love that about the city. It's a very open-minded city. Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out also. I was over on Deborah Cobalt's show yesterday at I think it's UBN Radio.
So you representing over there.
Right?
Yes.
When she was diving deep, she was like asking about past life stuff, and I was like, are we really going to go there right now? On this
We're going
show?
there.
Yeah. I was like, okay, let's do it.
So do you have a past life? You can't just breeze
Well,
over
That's
that.
true. You can't. Yeah, you can't.
So
yada,
she was
yada.
asking me, she's like, so what are your specific past lives, or do you believe in past lives and all stuff? So I was like, well, I mean, I don't want to go too deep on this show, and as a doctor of divinity, I try and keep this more about positivity and not going too deep, but I was like, well, we have DNA that whether you want to believe in past lives or not, that has the memory and has all the, past life memory in it. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to believe in gravity. You know what I mean? Like, there's gravity. So it's kind of like past lives, like, obviously something created didn't just happen in this birth,
You know what's fascinating to me is all the stories about like little kids. They're like 7, 8 years old, and they start sharing with their parents, like like memories.
Did you hear of that woman, speaking of, over, I believe it's in India right now, that she had all these memories of past life, and the Dalai Lama, even everyone is recognizing her as what do you want to call it, reincarnated, because she's being able to tell all these things right now.
That's so interesting to me. I'm kind of concerned. I don't really know if I want to know about my past lives, right? Especially if I was a brown guy. It's just like, a better time right now than it was 50 years ago for my folks. So
What's the first thing you remember?
As a child, the first thing I remember is falling off a bicycle. Like
Really? That's your very first
That's
memory?
my first memory,
What?
at least in this lifetime.
No wonder he's so traumatized.
That's
Hashtag
the first
Thought Thursday. We need to reprogram.
I don't have any problem with that, though. The one thing that it did for me was it makes me fearless in terms of taking chances. So I fell off the bike, wasn't hurt at all.
Right?
I got right back up and was like, I'm
wow.
gonna go back. That was the worst that can happen is I can fall and like get a couple of
That's
bruises.
so cool.
Yeah, I
love
didn't
that.
have any. It was very positive actually.
One of my first memories is actually during Christmas time. There was this talking Christmas tree at the local shopping mall. I don't even know why it talked. It was kind of scary, but I have this very vivid memory of it. And this train that ran around, and the most amazing scent of cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
And I had this like huge cinnamon roll. It was probably the size of my big little head at that time. And that's the first thing I remember.
Yeah.
It was a Christmas memory.
fascinating.
Sounds like an LSD trip. It's a dope memory. I don't have a memory like that.
So what did you do yesterday?
What did I do? I wanted to make the event. Unfortunately, I got stuck in traffic. I had late clients and I got stuck in traffic. So I just caught up with friends mostly. It wasn't anything as cool as you guys did. But yeah, it was a good evening.
Yep.
So today on the way to the studio, I thought I got so lucky. I'm having one of those days. My phone finally decided to die.
Yes.
Spinning wheel of death on the computer, and then I pull up and I see money on the ground. I got so excited. Game over.
Game over.
Victoria, one of our favorite girls here at Focus TV, she was in the car with me, and I was like, I am about to make your day, girl. I was like, get on your Insta story. We're pulling up. I was like, window down. Look what I just found. And she's like, it's money. And we were like, oh my gosh, it's $100. And she's like, I think it's more than that. Do they make $1,000 bills? Do they make $1 million bills? And I'm getting real excited right now. It's going to be a good day. It makes up for the dead phone and computer, right? And we pull it off the ground. And can you see this guy's face right here? It's $1 million. bill. I got so lucky.
What does it say on the back?
It says, will you go to heaven when you die? And then I got somebody's phone number.
Oh,
Wow, I think you
interesting.
should call. We should call it.
Yes, you should call.
My phone.
Yes,
We're
you will
calling
call.
right now.
We will listen.
Let's call. What is it?
No, I think we'll call during the break.
I'm gonna call from a blocked number as well.
Say call right now. No.
Make it a blocked number.
No,
Use a dark
I want
phone.
him to have my number. But it was funny because I thought, there is something so special about luck and the way it changes your mindset and your mindfulness. And then you think like, oh, did I do something right that I put this out in the universe that I'm being rewarded for that,
Right.
It's a result of the conversation we had
Right.
yesterday. I told you, it just starts raining down. Money just starts raining down. I mean,
Make it rain.
yes, it's interesting actually because science says a lot about that lucky people, like one of the first sort of prerequisites to becoming lucky is to actually believe that you're lucky
Right.
and look for evidence that you're lucky already.
So do you believe in luck?
Yes, it helps you to become lucky. Believe in luck. Yes. Right? It does. Because you keep your eyes open for things like Jeslyn
Right.
just did. Yeah.
Well, hopefully we get lucky this weekend.
Oh, really? Oh.
What are you doing,
You're
Ron?
getting lucky? I'm trying to get lucky.
Where are you going to go?
A couple cool things tonight, actually. There's an art walk that I think about going to. I think it'd be super cool. They're doing on-site tattoos. So I'm not going to get a tattoo, I don't think.
What would you get if you got a tattoo?
would you get, right?
It's such a good question. I've thought about it so many times, and I've had girlfriends that have done it. Like, let's go get tattoos. You get drunk and loaded, and you go in there. And I'm always like, it's a great idea, like a half hour ago, but maybe the buzz or whatever's wearing off. And I just don't end up doing it. So I haven't been able to get a tattoo because there's nothing I feel that deeply committed to.
Right.
Maybe my name or something.
Right?
My name.
What would you get, Jeslyn?
Oh, I've never been able to make a decision on that. I don't think I'll ever get a
serious?
tattoo.
I think we're
honestly.
only three people in all of LA that don't have tattoos, honestly,
Yeah.
right?
So true.
It's really, it's a huge trend, huge movement.
I think if I got anything, I'd do the infinity symbol.
I love that. Yeah, that would be one of mine,
Yeah,
for
me-
sure.
But I do it
For
in
sure.
white, so it kind of looks like a scar, Maybe that trend was over like 2 years ago. I don't know.
Wow, I've never heard about
brand?
that.
Like branded? Like you got branded?
Yeah, like you get branded. Yeah, I think that
You're
would be
turning
cool.
Rob on right now, honestly.
That's wild.
So I want to get into today's segment on Thought Thursday and recovery and that entire movement in Los Angeles. We have some kind of trending Twitter stuff around Russell Simmons, which is fascinating, knowing that he's a sober man as well. And 5 other women have come out around him, and he's got a Tantras spiritual center, yoga center up on Sunset. Some big stuff going down in Los Angeles right now around this
Yeah.
entire movement. So let's come back. I'm going to cut this segment short a little bit because I want to dive deep into this conversation in the second segment before we go back to the interview. Are you guys okay with that?
Let's do
Okay,
it.
good. So
Love
stay
it.
tuned, you guys. We're going to talk about how to have balance, not go towards addiction, how to get support during the holidays, how to deal with if you have a family member that is dealing with addiction during the holidays, and some tips and keys to stay healthy. Okay, so stay tuned. We will be right back.
Hi everyone and welcome to Odiva TV, and right now we're in the Focus TV studios in Hollywood.
Happy Wednesday, Empoweristas. It's Alex Worley.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Paffrath.
And I'm Justin Walter.
And this is What's Good, the show that's dedicated to positive, uplifting stories from all over the world.
Hi, this is Alyssa Goodman Show, and I am Alyssa Goodman.
You're watching Beige Bay TV. It's fitness expert and your Beige Bay, Edwina Chia.
Hey, Dr. Erin here, teaching universal law and spiritual truth.
Hey everyone, it's Michelle Gillette with Focus TV, and this is the Spotlight Series.
Hey LA, I'm Gwen Lane with the LA Girl.
Hey everybody, Terry here, host of the interview series Success Beyond Beauty.
Hi, I'm Fern Olivia, and welcome to Central Intelligence TV.
Hi, I'm Janica. I'm here with Focus TV for my segment of Fearless Females.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking a little bit about what's going on in the news.
Right.
Really interesting stuff. I know Russell Simmons is sort of going through some tough times right now with sexual harassment charges.
On Twitter
right?
it said that 5 more women have come forward to accuse him of sexual misconduct across 3 decades. Wow. And what's fascinating is on the Twitter, Los Angeles Times, he's in prayer position in front of a symbol of spiritualism. And, you know, I think that that's kind of some of the tough things around spirituality. People don't, I mean, we're human. We're all human. We're having a human experience. And, you know, I think that it's a debatable thing, this entire this time in history when women are coming forth, and we have a judicial system for this. So I'm kind of confused even as a woman, because if these allegations are made, I'm thinking, well, why are we not taking it to the judicial system instead of just kind of accusing people? I'm confused even as a woman.
Because a lot of it isn't prosecutable anymore. A lot of the accusations happened so long ago
that you can't
prosecute them anymore.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. I didn't realize it because I'm confused.
It is very confusing, actually.
Yeah.
You know, because, Jessalyn, you just nailed it. There's a difference between something that's legal, right, and there's moral and ethical issues.
Yes.
And then there's other things like what's
true.
appropriate socially, like etiquette and things of that nature and respect. So it's a really sort of fuzzy and complicated.
Right?
Yeah.
So very fascinating.
I'm really curious for your perspective as a man, Rob, and how this is affecting the men of LA, the men that are in the entertainment industry, because certainly now there's a whole stigma, a reputation surrounding
Yeah,
that.
I mean, first I have to say I feel real sympathy and empathy for the women that have come forward. I mean, incredible courage to do that. I know that can't be easy. I cannot imagine. You know, I've had my own experiences. I modeled for about 10 years in Miami. I walked for Russell Simmons, for Phat Farm multiple times.
Really?
Yeah. And I always had really positive experiences with him. And so I can only speak to my personal experience with him, but I can imagine it's going to be a real tough place that he's in, and the women that are, that they're in. And you're right, spirituality has been plagued with challenges like this.
So just want to stay on track today as far as, the holidays and knowing recovering. We bring him up because we know he's sober now, and just knowing the truth for all of us, men, women, and all, of our species, if you will, just knowing that this is unfolding perfectly and that we're here to, bubble up the things that we need to deal with. And
but, that said, Erin, I think it's important to recognize that even if you're on a spiritual path or a path of recovery and you are a leader, that doesn't mean that you're perfect.
Of course.
Quite the opposite. That's why you're on the path.
Right?
Absolutely,
And I agree. I think that's one of the pitfalls of being a spiritual leader. Like, we have to share our shit and be authentic about it and own up to things, because no one's perfect.
And that's why sometimes, instead of using the word spirituality, I just call it happiness.
Right.
We're all looking for happiness, and sometimes
like your book.
That's right. Like happiness from the inside out. If you haven't checked it out yet, you better get it.
So
that game up.
That, so what do you guys recommend for people who are out there either dealing with family members who are addicts during the holidays? How do we deal with that? And then how do you stay in balance for the holidays without going, because I know I can go off track in different addictions as far as, overeating or getting compulsive around things or become a workaholic or whatever. I can beginning to go in that direction.
Yeah, I look for experts mostly in, I'm really intent on finding somebody that's like a doctor of divinity or something like that. I call her and check in.
I like that.
Yeah, that's always good. But I do think that support system is huge, right? Having people that are aware of what you're intending to do or be for the holidays is very helpful. Just kind of keep you accountable, just check in. The other thing for me, I know, I think we all have different forms of addiction, right? Some are much more, sort of much worse than others. But for me, the root of all addiction, from my experience and perspective, is an addiction to thinking, right? And so it's obsessive compulsive thought, to the extent that you can't quiet that really loud, scary, yelling, screaming mind.
I think I'll go shop instead of deal with my mind right now.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what I did yesterday when I went to Loyola Rockefeller and I couldn't decide what I was going to wear, and I went to shop and find something and talk to my friend Lauren about this. And I'd like to go back to the studio right now and ask you, Lauren, how do you do that? How do you get out of your mind and just in the field so you can rechannel your energy into a positive way?
It is hard to do, because I do believe that overthinking is an illness, like if you lie in bed and you're completely immersed with like all the problems and stresses of everyday life. But all I try to do, and by all means I'm not always successful at this, is just take 10 really deep breaths in, fill your lungs, and sometimes we forget to feel the answers. We just think and try and process, and you're just chasing this monkey constantly in your mind. But I think sometimes if you put your hand on your heart and you do those 10 deep breaths, it can help you become more balanced and grounded, and yeah, and then hopefully you can shut down the chitter chatter.
Shut down the chitter chatter. Yeah. It's so right. And I think that's so beautiful about you and what your mission is, Lauren, in giving back. I'm so excited to get back to that more in our interview later. But it's hard for me. It's hard for me to just stay balanced and stay present, especially in this time of year when there's all this like chitter chatter, like she said, you know, in your minds and around the holidays.
Right? I mean, LA, we're the hub of recovery. I mean, really, and that's one of the things I think I love about LA. Growing up in California from Santa Barbara, literally, I have tons of friends that are in the program, and which means AA or 12-step. And I actually love my sober friends because it's like the chaos is done. They know how to take responsibility for their lives. We have so many. I mean, if you guys said the tabloids around here, the celebrity recovery centers, so many in Malibu. We've got Promises and Passages and Meadows, and these are famous, famous places. But I think that in LA, like I said, it's like a heaven and hell. And you kind of like have to pick what side of the track you're on, you know, right?
Well, I think I dance on both sides of the track, to be perfectly honest. But there's something really neat about Los Angeles, too, and the fact that it isn't just about recovery. It can be about reinvention. Right. So whether you have an addiction or you're just not in a place in your life that you're happy with, there is the opportunity to have a community that will support you in reinventing yourself and reimagining what it is that you want to do to serve your purpose in life.
Absolutely. So great. I love that.
It's powerful. Another mic drop from Jeslyn.
Bam, right, just like that, right?
Yeah.
But we do want to just give a shout out for people. Anyone who is struggling during these holidays, there's always places like AA.org. There's many support places, many spiritual centers around Los Angeles that have free support systems for the holidays. So, and also if you have a family member who is dealing with addiction during the holidays, the best thing to do is actually just focus on yourself and recover and get to a place where you know that their path is perfect for them, unless we're talking about intervention and things like that. That's a whole other topic, right?
Yeah, self-love, self-love, baby.
Well, Rob, what are you telling your clients right now during this time that are struggling?
Yeah, it's interesting. So I worked for a long time in the spiritual, or rather in the rehab world. I worked as a spiritual counselor, and I worked as, you know, and you know, the one thing, I love what Lauren said earlier, because being able to stop and simply take one breath and just breathe and enjoy.
Let's take a breath right now, you guys.
You breathe so deeply.
Yeah, she's practiced. She's practiced, like, clearly.
Oh,
yeah. Well, it's interesting because if you look at
coffee.
Right. If you look at little babies or like small animals, they breathe naturally from the stomach very deeply, and that induces a relaxation response. When we breathe very shallow from the chest, it actually makes you more nervous, more anxious. It actually stimulates your thoughts. So you kind of want to try to breathe more deeply from the stomach, particularly when you're feeling stressed out or you're noticing that those addictive cravings are setting in. That's when you want to really take that one sort of micro-meditative breath and just try to enjoy it.
What if you can't?
You always can.
I don't know about that, because there's been times where like I'm so anxious that it's even like it's hard to breathe.
Yeah.
Literally.
Hard to breathe.
But hard to breathe, yeah.
So the whole point of the breath is simply to accept completely what's happening in the moment without trying to do anything about it. So if you can't breathe, I promise you, you sit there and accept it, either your body will kick in and you'll start breathing more naturally and better, or it won't. In either case, the problem's gonna solve itself. So you just have to be in a spot of acceptance. If you can't accept what's happening, that in and of itself is acceptance. Does that make sense? So accept the fact that you can't, you know, breathe very deeply. Just accept it. Right now, that's what's happening.
Yeah, it's interesting if you just like have the moment where I'm mad, you can accept that, and it's easier to let go rather than pretending like it's not happening.
Totally.
Right? Isn't that the point of yoga, is to go towards the pain? Oftentimes we want to like always be comfort, always do whatever it is to not deal with any of our emotions. But yoga, and yoga is not just a physical thing. Yoga, true yoga is yoga of the mind. There's many different yogas, and it's going towards what's uncomfortable, going towards that pain.
Well, and I think it's important too to embrace that pain. And so many people that I've met and that I've talked to who maybe have had a problem with addiction or who are in a place of recovery have used that pain and rechannel it.
That's what it's all about today.
All about today, but they're really able to rechannel it in a way where they can use what some people might have said was a negative attribute of that, and just be go-getters, game changers, like our girl Lauren Burnett.
Yeah, it's a rewiring that happens.
Right?
Literally,
That's the whole
physical structure of your brain is
Yeah.
rewiring.
I believe that fully as far as finding your purpose and calling, that I believe it comes out of our trials and tribulations.
And all those problems point to your purpose. They point to your passion, right? So whatever you most deeply struggle with, whatever your greatest problem is, that's pointing to your highest purpose and passion. That was the case with me.
For sure.
Miserable. I'm a happiness coach. Okay? Like, what problem do I really want to solve? Oh, this one where I want to kill myself.
It's
Like,
so
literally.
true.
Yeah.
So true. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. So I say we get back there at ASAP. What do you guys think?
ASAP, Lauren, we're coming for you.
We got
Stay
questions.
tuned.
We got questions.
Yes.
So yeah, this is all about rechanneling the energy, which is anything that's gone negative in our life, and rechanneling it into becoming, you know, the calling of our life or whatever that is. So I know during the holidays right now, if there's anything you're struggling with, that is the divine sign. That is that calling within yourself saying, there's something here to be done for myself, for my community, for others. Because if you're struggling, imagine how many other people are struggling with the exact same thing.
And if you are struggling, please reach out to us on Good Morning La La Land, Facebook, Instagram. Leave us a comment on YouTube, and we'll do our best to respond with whatever resources that we're aware of that will help you during the season.
Yeah, we want to help. This is why I got into this work. It's just to help.
Right.
It truly, that's the reason, not for the money, not for anything else, to truly, genuinely help people. So if it can help you, please reach out. That's what I'm born to do.
Right. You want to take us out of the segment?
When we come back, we are going to go in the studio with Lauren Burnett, creator of Luella Rockefeller, girl gangster, fashion goddess. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Dr. Erin here, Doctor of Divinity, teaching universal laws and spiritual truth, and I am thrilled to announce the new show on Focus Television right here in West Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. Join us weekly as I interview incredible people, celebrities to your next door neighbor, you name it, your girlfriend. We're going to dive into such topics as love and relationships, health and vitality, business and money, and creative expression. And I'm thrilled to just go on this awakening journey with you as we tap into meditation, visioning processes, intuition, and all the above. So stay tuned as we do this together.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are here with fashion goddess, mogul, girl gangster, Lauren Burnett of Luella Rockefeller. Thank you so much for being here today.
That's okay.
You are one of the most inspirational women I have met in LA. You've barely been here, and already you've changed so many lives.
Hit the ground running.
Right?
Hit the ground running.
So great you're here. Thank you so much for coming in.
So I found it really inspiring when I came into your store that you have a mission.
Yeah.
And you have really set your life purpose into like fulfilling that mission. What is that?
So I'm a recovering addict, and I feel like there's so much shame and guilt attached to addiction that really people are too scared. The reason we have so much denial is because there's fear of coming out and saying, I have a problem, I need help. And I really want to change the stigma and the thoughts that are attached to an addict and addiction. And so that's what I'm trying to do through my fashion brand.
And doing it so glamorously,
Oh my gosh,
right?
totally.
by the way.
But so how are you doing that through your brand?
So basically, I have a project. It's a hat project. Here's the caps.
So cute.
And the beanies.
I love
as
the
well.
beanies, it's so fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Cute.
I come from a big boxing family. My dad was a heavyweight. My brother's a boxer. My fiance's a boxer.
Wow,
Wow.
interesting.
Yeah, we have a boxing gym at home. So I have always been immersed in boxing. And a lot of the coaches that do the boxing back at home are prison officers. So, you know, I'd speak to them about how addiction is so enthralled in, you know, the prisoners that are in the jail. And I came up with an idea. The first hat project that I did, all the money went to Jersey Action Against Rape. So it was helping like sexual abuse and rape victims. So I put a proposal forward to the governor of the prison where I got female prisoners to volunteer to help make our hats and our caps.
That is
Wow,
incredible.
that's incredible.
Yeah, it's really good because they taught them seamstressing skills. So now, you know, they have another string to their boa, which is fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I sell now with this hat project, I sell and I give all the money to a recovery centre, an addiction charity, and specifically the addiction charity that has helped and keeps helping to transform my life.
Wow.
That's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
So
So I think it's important that we talk about why hats.
Okay.
Let's
There's
go
more to the
there.
story. There's more to the story.
Let's go there.
Yeah, okay, so in my days, my darkest days of active addiction, I actually took an overdose. And when I fell, I was in my bed, and when I fell on top of a lamp, and I was slowly slipping more and more unconscious as the lamp was burning more and more through my head. So when I woke up, I was de-scalped because the only way to remove the lamp was to do that. So for 3.5 years, I underwent reconstructive plastic surgery where they removed and grafted the skin from the top of my leg to the top of my head. Oh, wow. But because the whole area was deadened, all the nerves, there was never going to be hair regrowth there. So the only way to reconstruct my head was to place 2 empty balloons either side of my head where there was hair still there. And then they injected sterile water until the balloons were fully expanded. The skin had stretched with the hair attached, and they pulled it over my head.
Wow.
So the hat is really symbolic for you.
Totally.
It is an absolute symbol of the recovery that you've went through, the reinvention, and the fact that you are able to share that story, share it with us, share it with the prisoners, and make it such a part of the community and giving back is truly one of the most beautiful things you could do. I mean, you are certainly living your purpose and your mission. It's so inspiring.
I love that. I love that. So,
Yeah.
So, you know, coming from California, I have so many friends that have gone through the program. I've gone through the program for other things, eating disorder when I was very young, and codependency. But you know, I'm curious to know, being in LA, and I mean, you're such a light with bringing and, you know, taking that energy, that darkness, and transforming it into a beautiful gift and design, and making a difference in the world. I'm curious to know, beyond, like, say, the recovery world, like 12-step, what do you recommend for people? Where would they go to find community to, like, you know, because there's kind of like beyond the rooms, if you will. If you're in the 12-step, it's called the rooms, like if you're in 12-step. Like, where do you recommend going? Where do you recommend going for fellowship and for support and things beyond that?
I think you've used a lot the word reinventing this morning, and I think, you know, the power is always within yourself. So if you're willing to go out of your comfort zones to meet people that have a positive influence in your life, whether that be through yoga nidra, yin yoga, meditation, exercising at the gym, you need to change the channel in which your life is flowing. And if you, I do it in many different ways.
How do you
Some
do
of them,
that? Yeah.
Some of them are what I mentioned. I love to train because I think, you know, we're always looking outside of ourselves for the answer. You were saying before, looking for comfort, you know, running away from the pain. I think initially, if you have a crisis point or a point of pain that you feel within yourself, it is very important to address that. Not all at once, but work on it slowly. And try and find things that make you feel good naturally. The endorphins flow naturally. So I'll go boxing, I'll go to the gym, I'll do a class, I'll take yoga, I'll take meditation, I'll go to a meeting if I feel that that's what I need at that time. And it's just looking for things that center yourself, you know? So don't look at things that are going to block what you're feeling and what you're thinking. Address it, but slowly, and just every day wake up and try a different avenue and see which one is going to work for you.
Nice, very well said.
Incredible, absolutely.
Yep.
Are there, so you mentioned that, you know, there are a couple of different paths that you take, and, you know, when you were sort of at the point where you're making the change, were there specific either people or books or authors or just teachers in your life that helped you turn the corner on that? Anybody that,
Definitely. I surround myself with people that have the same outlook as myself. I think that's very important for growth. I also love podcasts. I love Russell Brand.
I love Russell Brand. So his new book, and just listening to his talks on it, incredible.
Yeah, so just always looking for things that is gonna give me food for thought. Oprah, Deepak, any of these inspirational, Maya, anyone inspirational that has really gone through a hardship in their life and can give you valid information and opinions, then I'll always look for people like that. I've heard your book is great. Look at that one.
Check now. I'm going to send you a check for the plug.
And two, though, your two beautiful children.
Oh, for sure, for sure. The main motivating factor for me for finding recovery and finding self-love was kind of a contradiction, because I, at that point, didn't really love myself, and I didn't really have self-worth. It's something I'm working on, you know? I still revert back to that quite quickly, which is why I have to keep myself motivated and channeled into a positive direction. But when I found out I was expecting my first child, my son, Camden, he's the Rockefeller in the name of the business. I have Luella as my daughter, and I have Camden,
We have to say hi, you guys.
Hi. Yeah, when I found out I was expecting him, I always had a maternal instinct. And I think I was always searching for love, to give love and be loved and have it given and received. And there's actually no better relationship that you can give and receive that. So at that point, I remember praying, and I didn't really have much faith at that time in any sort of channel direction. I just was praying to some form of higher power to, you know, give me the strength to save my life for his life. So when he was born, it was the first time I actually felt guilt. I knew that I wasn't loving myself, therefore I couldn't love him as much as I wanted to. So it was really a journey of discovery. And you know, I'm a great believer, you ask the universe enough, you ask the higher power enough, it does happen. And it's very surreal because people came into my life and shared their story with me at the most crucial point.
Wow. She's speaking our language.
Yeah.
We like this girl. She's running the Focus TV network for sure, right?
And it's so cool that you have been able to rechannel this entire journey and share it and create this fashion empire.
For sure. So we need some tips for people out there that maybe they're not full-blown addicts. Maybe they're just kind of like going down kind of a bad path. What would you recommend for them? What tips would you say for the holidays? Like, you know, they're going to parties, there's lots of food, there's lots of booze, there's lots of, I don't know, new parties with sex. I have no idea what to do. Pick your addiction. Sex, work, materialism, you know, porn, you name it. There's every kind of addiction you can imagine, right?
Totally. And they're all avenues of looking outside of yourself for the answer. Any of those things that you mentioned in a balanced degree is fine. But as soon as it's not balanced and you're overdoing one of those things, you know, then that's where the problem is. And my advice would be, go somewhere where you can listen to yourself and be with nature. Go for a walk. You're in California, find a beach, walk on the beach, feel the sand. One of my favorite ways when I'm feeling consumed, especially with the business and children and day-to-day stresses, is I love to feel the ocean. Feel the power of the ocean, the energies from the ocean, and try and feel re-energized to then go back into your hectic life, but try and make the right decisions.
Man,
for sure.
Lauren's bringing it, right? Jeez, I'm feeling the ocean through you right now. I'm like, woo,
I think
like I'm at the beach.
Like a lot of people take the holidays and they overeat and they do all this stuff, and then the first of the year they're like tired and they got to get back into it. I'm like the opposite. Like I like to take the holidays and kind of quiet down and actually work out more and stuff like that.
You know my story. Right. Yeah.
I think it's like a great opportunity to do that.
Yeah, well, what I want to show something really special real quick, and getting back to the holidays. Great place to holiday shop, by the way, on Melrose at Royal Rockefeller. If you have any #girl gangsters in your life you want to shop for, support her in these incredible hats. We also have a really cool fashion video that I want to show you.
Let's see
it's
it.
an incredible
Let's check
story.
it
The
out.
control room's got it now.
It'll come. Let us know when it comes.
No, but it's really special. Okay, so tell us about the music in the video, actually.
Okay, so the thing is about living a positive life and trying to influence other people around you to live a positive life is it has a chain reaction. So I find the best way to break down ego and pretense and, you know, superficial living is to just be honest and tell your story, share your struggle, and automatically that gives the other person the freedom to share their struggles and share their story. So when I had done that quite publicly through the media in the UK, I had people all over reaching out to me. And one of them was the singer that I used for a behind the scenes track of one of my photo shoots. And she had members in her family that also suffered with addiction, and it had impacted her life. So she wanted to, through her music video, use the money through iTunes to give back to the same recovery centre that I give my money to through the hats. So it seemed very poignant to have her music as the soundtrack of my my photo shoot.
I love that.
Yeah, so
Talk about alignment.
Together.
Yes,
So
let's
amazing.
take a look.
walk that line. I've been before, it's just a matter of time before destruction, corruption, devotion leave us fall behind. Y'all take the salt from the earth and the valleys and the rivers run dry. Lay it down low, it's the only way. That's the key to keep the devil at bay. For he'll beat you, defeat you, tempt you to his lair down there. Y'all take the salt from the earth and the valleys and the rivers run dry. Sweat that beats your forehead in the brightness of the moon. Y'all take the salt from the earth and the valleys and the rivers run dry. Take my hand and walk that.
I sold out that one.
Oh, I bet you did,
So
right?
cool. You sold out of that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's talk about this empire that you created. Why fashion?
So I always, I don't want to be too cliche, but had a passion for fashion. And when I had my second child, Luella, my partner had his own business and he was, you know, out a lot. So I was trying to think, what can I do to really nurture the creativity within myself? Because I knew I had a creative mind. So I thought, I'm gonna try and do something that I can do from home around my children that still feeds my creative mind. So I set up an online fashion business. Within a year, the social following had gotten large and companies were approaching me to do collaborations where I didn't have to pay, you know, the normal retail rents just to collaborate with other brands. So I'd done that for a while. And
were you doing this all by yourself?
Yeah, completely alone.
Wow.
And I had no idea how to do any of it. Like, I didn't know how to set up a website. I didn't really know. I'd been sort of like the runner and assistant and like assistant stylist on photo shoots, but I'd never been like a creative director of a whole photo shoot and coordinator. So I really was just winging it totally. And anything I didn't know, YouTube. You know, even like folding up my buggy at the side of the road, I'd be like YouTube trying to learn how to like live life. So I do think there's a good message in that as well. It's that, you know, if you have enough passion in anything, it doesn't matter how much you know about that subject. If you're passionate about it, you will find out how to do it, and the information will come your way.
Right. Wow. So true. So someone watching in, they're like, I want to have a fashion thing. I want to start something online. What kind of tips can you give them around starting their company? Where do you get do you make the clothing?
So I designed some. I have like an in-house brand, Luella Rockefeller, and then I also search for brands that fit well with under our brand umbrella.
Okay, great.
So it's has to be like unique and edgy, and for a girl that wants to really shine, you know, and
it's a little sassy.
But shine, shine, but in like an individual way. I want you to feel amazing, so that you feel amazing in your clothes and you give out the right aura to other people, you know.
Wake up and excited to get dressed in the morning.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
I love that.
So they can find you where?
So I am 8378 Melrose Avenue. I'm in between Sweet Lady Jane and Rachel Zoe. you'll see a huge graffiti painting of Amy Winehouse outside, and our hashtag Girl Gangster in the window.
Wow, that's
perfect Instagram
so
photo,
LA.
by the way.
It's so LA, right? I mean, it's iconic that where you are.
Yeah, it really is. And I'm loving LA, and I love the people that come in my shop, because when they come in, they're like, wow, this is amazing, this is cool. So yeah, I'm loving the LA feedback.
And then online, can they find you online?
Yeah, online we ship worldwide, www.luellarockefeller.com.
I love that. And so you have everything from obviously hats, you have dresses, you have what else? What other attire?
I have what you're wearing.
Yes, fabulous jeans that I can't get enough of from Cheap Mondays. I love those. I'm gonna have to come back and get them in every other color so I don't have to keep wearing white pants.
Yeah, what I'm wearing here, this is a Motel Rocks dress. We sell caps, dresses, coats, everything you need to keep you cool and sassy over the holidays.
I want to buy the clothes just so I can give them away to all the women in my life and just spread happiness that way. I want the hats, and I definitely want the video. Where can I find that video? I'm going to keep a copy.
On YouTube. And do you have an account under your name as well?
Everything is under Luella Rockefeller.
Wow, well, we're just so excited. You know, I think the intention of the show and Focus TV Network is really about community. We want to be a show, but we're not just gossip, you know, telling breaking news and a fear-mongered news, you know, another story like that. We want to be a talk show where people can wake up in the morning, get inspired, hear personal stories, inspirational stories of LA, and this is really, you're really the epitome of what we really wanted to showcase on this show. So I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we'd like to invite you officially into the Focus TV family because we really love you. We want to stay up, you know, what's going on in fashion and especially in that arena over there on Melrose. So
hashtag Girl Gangster.
That's right. So stay tuned, you guys. We have that one last segment. We're going to wrap up all the stuff about reinvention. It's really more about reinvention than recovery. It's all the above because we're all at different tracks on this lifetime. So stay tuned as we focus on La La Land, holidays, reinventing you. Because today is the best day to do that. So stay tuned, you guys.
Welcome back. Boy, that was quite a show today.
Right?
I gotta be honest with you. Like, I was really, really deeply moved by Lauren's story, like truly, and you know, that was probably my favorite part of the show today.
Right.
You know, yeah. What about you? What did you love most about?
I mean, yeah, it's a heavier show for sure, but I think everyone can relate. I think that it's like 1 in 3 people have somebody in their life that they're either the parent of childhood or someone who's an addict that's dealt with that in their life, even if they're not have dealt with them themselves.
I think that the important thing about today's show is to really remember that you don't have to be alone. You don't have to be ashamed. We can celebrate recovery. We can celebrate reinvention. And there's a community here in Los Angeles that wants to do that. And that's what this show is all about, is being that community and embracing it and celebrating. So, again, thank you so much to Luella Rockefeller for being here with us today.
Absolutely.
So if you guys wanted to reinvent yourself in an area of your life, what would that be?
Boy, what a great question.
Right?
I feel like I've done that so many times in my life.
Right?
Right? Yeah, if I really think about it, I'm like, there was a period where I was like the athlete, and then there was a period where I was sort of just like a consultant, and then I was a model, and you kind of, I think for most of us, at least for me, I've done that so many times, and I feel like it's going to be ever. I'm going to be ever evolving.
So what's your next reinvention,
Yeah,
Rob?
what's the
If I let you know, then what? I can't let you know. That's part of my
Are you coming out
secret.
of the closet, or like what are we going to know about this reinvention? Come on.
You know, it's so interesting because, and you and I have talked about this a little bit, in this world where there's like anything is possible, anything feels possible, especially in LA, I have so many passions, so many interests. It's like one day I want to do this and another day I want to do that.
Right.
So I'm not even sure. And I kind of want to leave a little bit of that up, a lot of that up to the universe to unfold in an organic way. But I really deeply love where I'm at right now.
Right?
I do, yeah.
Like we talked about yesterday, you're just going to stir that pot until somebody taps you on the
That's
shoulder.
right, that's right. I just do my work and somebody else comes along and says,
Time to
"Hey."
reinvent.
That's right.
There you
It's
go.
time. We're doing this now.
I have 2 areas I'd like to reinvent. One is I do think I'd like to reinvent a new kind of, because the show has really brought up a lot of clothing thing, and I love it. Like I have so many things in my closet. I feel like I almost want to reinvent something around clothing, something sassy, something different for me.
So reinvent your look?
Yeah, like a little bit, like something there. I don't know what that is.
See what Lauren does?
Right?
That's what she does. She sits there, and all of a sudden you want to become a fashionista. You already are. But
You're like, I'm a hashtag girl gangster too, right?
Right, exactly.
And then I also think the other place I want to reinvent myself is I tend to be all or nothing socially. Like I tend to be a complete introvert, and I'm like, do nothing but work, and I'm just kind of in that mode, or I go completely extrovert, and I'd like to somehow reinvent putting it into a daily great routine, because this show is like my dream life. I love our being able to be here, bring great content, showcasing everyone's great stories around LA, and I'd like to have a perfectly balanced day where I get to work out, have a little social thing every day, and have a beautiful work part of the day.
It's funny because Aaron and I talked about this last night. We said, oh, you go about your day so much differently now because you think, ooh, I am gonna have to tell a story about this. I better get out there and like go be a part of the community.
Let's dramatize
and talk
it just so I have a story tomorrow.
No, but it's really interesting. I think it's a perfect time of year to honestly think about how we're going to reinvent ourselves and reimagine ourselves in the new year. Yeah. I certainly want to be more balanced and like disciplined with my time and self-care. But I'm not sure how that's going to evolve. To your point, I'm just open to the opportunity. I'm excited.
Yeah. Right?
You know, I just want to see what's going to happen. I don't actually have a clear vision of what that is yet, besides I want to keep doing what we're doing here and taking it to the next level.
And that's such a great point. Something I want to always remember too is like, you don't have to see the entire staircase. You just need to see the next step, right? Just got a little baby steps.
Absolutely. It's so much less intimidating if you're like, oh, I can just take this one step, this 2 steps, rather than I know where that platform is in 5 years.
Right?
Of course, yeah.
So speaking of reinventing yourself, tomorrow we're going to be talking about dating, love, and relationships.
Yes,
right?
special guest tomorrow.
Who's the guest tomorrow?
One of my great friends, Dr. Ramani Durvasula. She's written a couple books. One book, Should I Stay or Should I Go? And she's been on every TV show.
I think if you're asking yourself that, you go.
Well, we're going to talk about
That's why we're asking. Yeah,
I don't know. You're the love expert, Rob.
Yeah. Well, we've got another one tomorrow. So we're going to talk to Dr. Durvasula about that, dating, relationship, probably have other tips.
I'm excited. I'm already thinking about what am I going to wear on that. It's like a big...
Every day's an event.
Now.
As it should be. Every day should be an event, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited for that one. And I just want to, just acknowledge our amazing guest today, acknowledge this incredible conversation, knowing that we're only as sick as our secrets. And that's kind of one of the themes of a 12-step thing is we're only as sick as secrets. So think about where you are still having secrets in your lives today. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please like, share, and comment. You can find us every day, 9 a.m. Across all social media. And you want to take us out?
Yeah, we're streaming live to you for America's first live streaming daily talk show out of Los Angeles, Monday through Friday on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks for being with us here today. It's going to be a good morning, La La Land.
Where shift happens.